Hey everyone, welcome to my beginner guitar tutorial, beginner tips from a beginner for beginners, however you want to call it. Christmas is coming up, maybe you're thinking about getting a guitar, maybe you just want to try to learn it. And I just wanted to give you some tips and share some of my journey. I bought my very first guitar 1.5 years ago, about something like that. Never played guitar before. I had a bass for a couple of years, but I never really used it seriously. Maybe like 5 times a year, got it out for maybe 5 minutes, so nothing serious. Um, and yeah, then I bought this guitar, and it really, for me, one of the best investments I ever made. Having so much fun with it, and I never, even imagined that I would reach the level that I am now, which I would still call myself a beginner, but I thought to reach that level it would take 5 to 10 years, minimum. Um, I just want to share some of the things that helped me understand this instrument and how I approached learning it, and I'm still approaching it. Um, so because I watched a lot of guitar tutorial guides or videos for beginners myself, and a lot of times they are relying way too much on music theory, in my opinion, or are just way too specific. Put your first finger here and the second finger on fret blah. um Not really. I don't know, I wanted to approach it a bit differently and try to more show you some concepts that I just understood while learning this instrument. I mean, if you already can play the guitar or different instruments, you probably will not learn anything new here. But anyway, let's get into it with my very first tip. So, a lot of people, when they start out, and I think I did the same, when they start learning, they will start with the standard chords like E and C and D, and then try to do the typical moving around. And I'm still very bad at it because I don't practice a lot, because to me it's just not a lot of fun. And I think fun, it's one of the most important things. You just have to have some fun, or at least I do, to be able to just pick up the instrument and play and have some fun, and not just sit there and do, I don't know, some boring exercise the whole day. I always try to make it fun, and try to make a riff out of some kind of exercise you're doing, or like some kind of song. And one thing that I also understood pretty late, which is kind of obvious, it was E, and then at some day you will get to F, and then you will think like, it's basically the same chord shape. So I was thinking, okay, hold on, E, F, then this should be F sharp, right? So this should be G. But it looks completely different than what I had on my little sheet, which showed me the standard chord shape. And that's kind of when I started to realize, you don't really have to, because I always thought you had to change around different chords in order to make a melody, but you don't really have to. So just a little example for what you can actually do with one chord. I mean, you have to be able to play bar chords, but yeah. And that's all just one chord. And you can basically do this with every chord, and then you will realize just the chord, it's basically like the chord shape, at least that's I am understanding it right now. It more defines like the tone, like the should you say the emotion of the chord. Like this. Already a very different vibe, but you could still do the same thing, like play the same melody, but it would sound very different. You know, it has a totally different vibe to it. But that's kind of, you know, you don't have to like do all these difficult chord changes, especially in the beginning when you're just starting out. So yeah, I'm hoping that will bring you some fun. Let's move on. So the next thing I want to say is just play around. I mean, it's called playing the guitar, so actually play around and try out things for yourself, you know. I will do another example here, and you can do this again with any type of chord. This is just like my favorite chord. I'm not even sure how it's called, because I just discovered it through like playing out, like playing around on the guitar. And then once I had this chord, you know, you maybe know that if you move like from the E, if you remove that finger, we go from major to minor. And yeah, so same concept. Whoops. Just remove one finger. Already a different chord. And now let's maybe try remove another finger. I will remove the ring finger now. Again, a different flavor. Very beautiful, actually. And let's try remove the last finger. Not as interesting, but it still works. And like if you remove that any finger, you can use that finger to put it, like for example, on another string, on another fret, on another string. And now you already have a lot of like different chords just from that one shape, and you're like just moving around a couple of things. Let's just try this, for example. Okay, that doesn't work, but that's like how you try out things, and then you listen. If it sounds good, why not? Or you can also do, for example, just move a finger up a fret. This is kind of like the James Bond chord. And then, yeah, in theory, you can already make a song like with just these simple changes. So, I don't know. So, yeah, that's, I don't know, just play around, try out things, and have fun. Okay, maybe another addition to playing around. And my next point, I mean, you don't have to do this. It totally depends on what's like your preferred sound. But I pretty quickly went to drop D, which is just the lowest string turned down. So we'll have D, A, D. Instead of an E, you will have a D. That's basically all that it does, but it enables you to do a lot of things. For example, play a power chord by just strumming the first 3 strings. Oops. And that makes it very easy also, again, to have fun. You just put your finger over the whole fret and you can do a lot of cool things just with that easy power chord, and you don't always have to do, like, usually you would have to do this shape. But yeah, it's kind of very easy. Yeah, and just like I said, contributes to that fun factor. And I think also what drop D, like not having to do this shape, or because for example, it's very hard to do this chord. You know, kind of that melancholy sound. This is kind of the same thing, but pretty easy, and you know, also the like the metal shape. It's a lot easier to produce a certain, I don't know, vibe with this tuning, and one that I really enjoy. And yeah, it makes it a lot easier to play around with like power chords, you know. Just try out, put one finger. I mean, I think this is actually in a Metallica song. And you know, just by playing around, you can just discover a lot of things, and just these little things with drop D and these 2 chords, you can also again create a lot of things without having to change around a lot of difficult chord shapes. Again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. You will have to do this, and it also like enhances the sound, obviously, but you don't have to do it. And especially starting out, this is a beginner video. I think start with something easy. Blah. So, for example, just these 2 chord shapes basically, and moving around, sliding into each other, you can produce very beautiful things. Like, I think this sounds really beautiful. And yeah, kind of the same thing I just said all the time. Just try to make it easy and fun. I mean, you don't have to do the drop D thing, obviously, but it helped me just have fun and keep playing. Okay, and now the next thing, and at the end I will try to combine everything we learned in one example. Next thing I want to tell you, again, with the same thing we had the whole time, that you don't really need difficult chord shapes, and like what else can you do to produce cool and fun sounds and just have fun playing. And this is about the intervals. I mean, you don't worry, you don't have to know basically anything. Just have to remember like how much you have to, like, yeah, you have to like remember how many frets to move to the next thing. So for example, take this one. We already had like this chord shape just right now. And then, you know, again, try moving around. And then maybe, you know, skip some, and then you know, you will already realize there are some certain intervals that you can do that will always sound great. For example, this, I don't know, how many are they? 1, 2, 3. So and again, take another chord. Always has the same kind of vibe to it, obviously different with the different chords, but yeah, again, it's not about the changing to, I don't know, different difficult chord types. So and then yeah, again, you can make it into a song, do whatever you like, do whatever you can do at the level you are. I don't know, do whatever you want, do have fun. That's what it's all about, and that's kind of what I want to make this video all about. So yeah, you know, and you don't always have to do like this. You don't have to start here, you can start anywhere. Always do always the same principle, and you don't have to use this kind of interval. You can also use a different interval. I don't know, you can for example, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this sounds pretty cool. So let's try to combine everything we did in this last one. Okay, so now let's take, for example, that what we just played. And now combine it with this, what we tried before, like switching around one finger and to try to make it sound a bit different without like changing around the whole chord shape, but just changing around one finger, basically. So. For example, I just try to change it around for each one. It's maybe not the most best sounding one. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you thought of this video. If this was helpful to you in any way, then maybe I can try to do another one. For example, one thing I tried to learn, because I just wanted to play things like that, and I played with distortion, and I noticed like there was so much noise when I, for example, tried to play something like this. Basically every time I skipped a string, I didn't mute the string, and muting was something I had to also learn. Yeah, and like I said, always try to have some fun. Just try what you are trying to learn right now. Try to make it into a riff of some kind. For example, I try to learn a scale, and instead of just doing the scale all the time, I think I made a mistake. Anyway, I just try to make a riff out of it, and like kind of a song. example, I'm also trying to learn triplets, like trying to practice triplets. So I'm trying to just include it in everything, every riff. I could also play it just. That's also something I did in the beginning. For example, just play the riffs a bit simpler. And now I can do more with it. And you know, you will just get better and better. And it will come over time. There's no way around practice. But like I said, try to make it fun for you, so you will actually do practice. And like I said, you don't have to do like this stupid monotone exercises that you will actually never use in the music like you do. You know, you will never like. This will probably never be in any song, but if you can like I don't know, try to include that in some kind of riff, you also have a very, like, I think you get a better understanding of how to use a scale or anything you want to use. Thanks for watching.